Hey everyone, welcome back to Shop Life. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a change of a pace. Y'all are going to come with me as I go to a pull apart, pick apart, self-serve, salvage yard, whatever you want to call it. It's where you go there and you usually just take your tools and stuff with you and you're able to take off whatever you want. They still charge you for the parts, but it's usually a little bit less than what it would be at the salvage yard. More than a little bit. It's a lot less than it would be at the salvage yard. And you might find some treasures, who knows. So come along with me as we go to one that's near my place and we're gonna go part searching for this E39 that I'm working on. So one thing about these pull aparts and pick aparts that is really good is they give you a wheelbarrow or some kind of container with wheels that you can use to wheel around the whole yard. And this helps out especially when you're carrying a lot of tools or if you're carrying around any heavy parts that you need to bring back to pay for. It works out really well. Before we can enter the yard, you do have to go through the gate where they check whatever you have. And there's also computers here where you can look up the cars that you're looking for, find out parts prices and whatnot. So we were able to do that, figure out exactly where the cars that we want are, and then we were able to pay our admission fee and go in.
You need to put your mic. There it is.
So there's so many cars here, but we looked on that computer screen that tells you what row and stuff the car that you're looking for is. So we're here for a small bushing that goes on a tie rod. So I'm working on an E39 manual swap and the customer wanted me to do a couple of extra things on there. And while we were taking off those tie rods, I noticed that whoever replaced it last time, they cracked that bushing that's like almost like a sleeve. So we're gonna take it off of one of these cars. Hopefully these aren't cracked and we'll see what happens. But here's the E39 that we just came across. I believe this one is the 2000 528i, and if I remember correctly on the website, I believe this was a manual. So if it's a manual, ideally I want other parts if they're still available. But let's take a quick look around here. Like, there's a bunch of E39s, E60s. I'm surprised as to how many BMWs are actually on this yard. So someone already took the headers because, you know, as everybody knows, the catalytic converter prices right now are through the roof. So people are just taking those left and right. All the ignition coils are gone. And this is why the engine is pretty much rendered useless at this point, because chances are somebody removed some of the spark plugs as well. With no cover on here, no cover for the oil cap, water has just been going into here with no hood. So all the stuff is just getting all, you know, thrashed. Same thing with all the DME. I think that somebody actually already removed the DME. But you can see, like, you really, whenever these cars come in, if you need parts, you want to set alerts, and all the websites that pull aparts and pick aparts, LKQ, they all have alerts that let you know when a car comes in. So what you can do is you can set alerts for cars that you're interested in. That way, as soon as it gets there, you can be the first one there before all this stuff gets wrecked.
You sound sponsored, bro.
Oh, I'm not sponsored at all. I just like how this is, you know, it's very feasible for anybody. There's no startup cost. If you even want to learn how to work on cars, this is the way to do it. There's no startup costs involved. You just pay the admission fee, which is $2 or $3 per person. But when I was back in California, the pick aparts there, they didn't have any admission fees. So I think this might be an East Coast thing just because of the amount of people that go here. Who knows? But you know, it's such a good way to learn, such a good way. You can even make it into a business where you can, you know, buy some of these parts that you take off yourself, which are super cheap, and then just sell it online or sell it locally. You know, you just got a place to store it instead of buying a whole car. All right, let's see. Okay, so this one is not the manual.
Oh.
This is the automatic. And I believe this one might not even be the 528. I think it's a 525. Oh no, it's a 528, yep. So pre-facelift 2000 528. I mean, as you can see, all the body panels on here are good. So like, you know, if you, except for right here, because somebody had to pry it open. So if you needed like a door, a fender, this is the spot to get it from, and they're so much cheaper than going to a salvage yard. Even clusters are available. I mean, it's kind of hard to test a lot of these things on here. You'd have to bring your own jumper box and all that to test some stuff. But for the most part, if you buy like some items like the fender and stuff, you don't need to do any testing. Just look at it. If it matches the color of your car, good to go. Let's see if there's another E39 somewhere that already has the wheels off, because usually these wheels lug bolts are pretty tight on there. And I didn't bring a 1/2-inch battery operated impact. So that's one other thing. Power tools. You would have to have all battery operated power tools to, you know, make stuff more efficient. And the tools that I brought, I mean, you can take a look right here. A couple of socket sets, gloves, you know, hex, Torx. I did bring my smaller battery operated impact, and I've got pry bars and stuff like that, some sockets. So I came specifically for this one bushing. So I also bought this ball joint separator. That way I can get that tie rod out and get that sleeve out. But if I was gonna spend the whole day here and actually try to find parts to make a profit, I would have a couple more tools. I would bring a jack and stuff like that. And I would definitely bring a bigger battery operated impact. That will just make everything so much quicker. And bring something to lay on. But it's getting hot, so let's find these cars. Let's see if we can find that other E39. There's another E39, and the wheel's off, yes. I believe this one is the manual. Let's see. Yeah, so it's got the whole spindle, it's got some crappy rotors on it, but we're not here for that. Nope, automatic too. So where is the manual? It's supposed to be in this row, I think. And it also tells you when this car got here. So this car has been here for almost 2 months now. Well, about a month and some. And this one's pretty obvious why I got here. It's wrecked. All the body panels on this one are pretty much dinged up. All right, let's see if I can get that bushing out, and then we'll keep looking. Oh look, somebody left a screwdriver. I guess that's another way to make money over here. Come and look for all the tools that people left behind. Actually, I have found at a pull apart a snap-on pick, a good one, and I've found quite a few sockets. So I'm not one for snap-on tools. If you look at all my videos, you know, people probably, if they see my tool collection, they'll probably think I'm an amateur. Just because all the tools I have are mostly from Harbor Freight. I mean, yes, I've got some specialty tools, but for me, the tools don't make the mechanic. And I'm not a mechanic, first of all. I'm much more than a mechanic. You know, it's kind of insulting when people call me a mechanic. But, you know, I want to be able to use my tools without having to worry like, hey, I spent all this money on here, you know, I gotta take care of it. I'd rather use the tools, get the job done, and all my tools, I still take care of them. It's not like I'm just throwing them around. So it's like, they've lasted this long, and I haven't had any problems. So why would I go out and buy, you know, expensive socket sets for like 200 bucks when I can go to Harbor Freight and get them for 20 bucks? I mean, ideally, I feel like once I'm old and I'm only working on like, you know, very, when the E46 are considered classics, so all of my cars are classics at that point, and I'm working on them, you know, I'm barely moving, you know, 75 years old. At that point, I might buy some Snap-ons, or if Snap-on sponsors me or Milwaukee sponsors me, at that point, that's a different story. But I don't think I will spend my own money, you know, buying expensive tools like socket sets. Like, I think battery powered impacts and stuff like that, yes, that you kind of want to get a good quality, that way it lasts a long time, because you don't want to buy those every couple months. That's not, you know, that's just going to be getting really expensive really quickly. But even my battery operated impact, the one that I've been using for the past 2 years, I got on Black Friday. It's made by Rigid, which is, I believe, a Home Depot brand. And I got like the whole tool set for like 300 bucks. And the batteries, everything has still lasted me a good amount of time. All right, enough talking, let me get this off. And then we can go look around the yard some more. All right, tie rod's out. Now we've got to get out this bushing without it breaking. So, all we do is use socket. Fits in there.
I'm wearing your watch.
Mm-hmm. Gotta be fancy when you come here. Yeah, that's not budging. Fuck. It's not even moving. I found the manual one. And not everything, the clutch pedal is gone. But all of the shifter assembly, all of that stuff is still here. The drive shaft is still here, transmission cross member, shift linkage, everything. And that's the stuff that you can't find. The clutch pedal, the pedal box is the same on the E39s, so you can just get a new clutch pedal and just slam it in there. But that stuff, the shifter, the transmission cross member, the other bracket on the bottom, the drive shaft, the differential flange, can't find any of that. It's awesome. This tie rod is actually in pretty bad condition, so hopefully that bushing will come out. It's not as seized. It doesn't look too rusty, but I'll find out. It's getting hot. Like, it's like 90 degrees right now. And I'm sweating up a storm. Now this is what I love about car people. We were struggling with this. I didn't bring a big enough BFH, big fucking hammer. But there was this really nice guy. He was just walking by in his wheelbarrow, and he was going to pull something off, and he saw me struggling with my little tiny hammer, and he let me borrow his big fucking hammer, and we got it out. And he also hit it a good amount of times when he started seeing me struggle. But that's awesome. Love the car community. But we got it out. This is all we came here for. And main reason we came here for this, you can't buy this new. So there are people that make it like out of a solid bar of metal, but they're in like Russia, and it would take like 2 weeks to get here. But all we needed is this bushing. So what happens, it's like a spacer, and the tie rod sits inside of here to make up for the space that's in the spindle for these E39s. So what happens over time, sometimes when somebody's replacing the tie rod and they don't remove the tie rod end properly, what they'll end up doing is they'll end up cracking this. And once this cracks, then this will start warping. And if it warps when the tie rod's sitting on it, no matter how much you torque it down, that tie rod is going to have some kind of play in here. And with that play, when you're turning the steering wheel, especially in tight spots like parking lots and stuff, you're going to hear creaking. And this will usually be the reason why there's creaking. So we got this. We're going to go pay for it. Actually, we might walk around the yard a little bit, see if we find anything rare. We do want some all-weather mats for our E46s. I think we just need one more set. So we're going to start scavenging, see if we can find some BMW all-weather mats. You're not going to believe what I just found. Found another E39. We already got our part. So I found another E39 facelift. Okay, first of all, facelift E39 taillights. Perfect condition, worth some money. All right. But that's not the good shit. Y'all ready for this? The M Sport steering wheel. This is the same steering wheel as the M3, M5. It's awesome. I'm about to pull that. What a find.
If you have the tools.
I know, that's the thing. This is the longest, the one that I found, and this one, the only one that I brought. I'm so unprepared for this. I wasn't expecting to actually, find this kind of stuff, but all right, let's try to get it off.
You got it?
Professional over here, what you mean? Bam, like a boss. All right, I think I'm gonna take the airbag too, even though these airbags are all recalled. We'll take the whole thing. I don't know how much, if they charge too much for the airbag, then we'll leave it. I've got enough of these sport airbags.
What if you just click it on and they'll still charge for it?
Smart, I see you. Nail this thing as part of the... I don't think they're that dumb, we'll see.
I don't think they heard me.
Why? I got my mic on.
Yeah, because they hear me. That's
oh.
The thing.
What did you say again?
Just say what I said.
I don't know what you said.
I said, can't you just click it on and pretend it's like the whole
so
steering wheel?
Selena said, can't you just click the airbag back on and they'll just think it's the whole steering wheel? And I'm like, I don't think they're that dumb, but I guess we'll try. All right, now I gotta get this bolt out and this comes off. Now, one thing when you're at a pick apart and you're taking parts off like tail lights and stuff like that, good thing to do is you just keep all the connectors attached to everything and you just cut the harness back. But don't do this on the engine harness, just in case somebody actually needs the engine harness, they can use the whole engine harness. But everything else, like tail lights and stuff, nobody's gonna spend the time to get the whole body harness out. They're just gonna take sections. So if you just cut this section off, leave some wiring there, that way if somebody's retrofitting these facelift tail lights onto their E39, they can use that harness. And also, just because you got it from a pick apart, try not to scratch all this up. I mean, there's a couple scratches here. We're gonna try to take care of it. That way, even if you're gonna resell it or if you're gonna use it for your own car, you know, less damage, better. And also try to take as many fasteners as you can. So these are the nuts that came off of here, and we're just gonna screw it right back on. So if you ever wondered how people get their engines out over here, they use this kind of a crane. So usually there's like a chain or something attached where you can, you know, crank on it to pull the engine up. I'm not sure what happened to this one. So what you would do is you would just get this, wheel it up right over here, take the hood off, you know, hook up onto the engine, and you use the chain, you just keep lifting it and it'll just come right up. And then after that, I'm not entirely sure how they get it to the front, but that's how they get it out. So either they have some kind of dolly or something that allows you to push it. But all this, most pick aparts are gonna have this kind of gravel rock stuff here. So it's really hard to wheel something around. So I'm not entirely sure how they get it there, but that's how they do it.
It has wheels.
Those wheels ain't gonna do nothing. Look at the tires, they're not even on it anymore. So this one's probably out of commission. That's why they just left it here without the chain. Oh yeah, there's one with the chain over there. You see it? Over there with the chain.
Pulley.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. There's the E90. I didn't think there was any E90s or BMWs on this side. It says 335, but I don't think so. No, it's a 328. I guess, I don't know why they wrote 335. No rubber mats. I think that's like the first thing people probably take. Maybe even the workers. They just take all the all-weather mats because you can use them pretty much on anything, honestly. All right, so we decided to be smart about it and stop wasting time. Go on their website, they have an inventory thing. So we're just gonna put BMW because, you know, any BMW, I pretty much know what's valuable on most of them. Actually, they require a model. So let's see, we'll do 3 Series first. Search. They're all on this side. So we saw the 335, there's one at 337, we missed that one. So 337 is over here. We missed one on that side. And then the rest are up here, 302. So further up. All right, so we just got out. Dumb mistake on my part, but it was Selena's idea, so we're gonna blame her. She told me to pop the airbag back in the steering wheel, maybe they'll just let it slide. And I completely forgot that at pull-aparts, pick-aparts, any salvage yards, they're not allowed to sell airbags. So we get to the front, and she's like, you gotta take that airbag out. And I had slammed it in there because I was trying to get in there so we can get out. So it took me like, what, 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes to get that airbag back out because it was such a pain in the butt. But we got it out, and the total came out to about 70 bucks with the 2 tail lights, the steering wheel, and the little bushing thing. So total came out to 69 something. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna clean everything up when we get home and get that car done, that E39 with that bushing, and we'll put these tail lights up for sale, and we'll keep you guys updated. If you guys want to stay up to date, we usually do all this kind of stuff on Instagram. So make sure you're following me on Instagram. I'm always posting stories on there and, you know, just my day-to-day stuff. So if you guys want to keep up with me, make sure you go follow me on Instagram at ShopLifeTV. But that's it for this video. Once again, we're not sponsored by any of these pick aparts, pull aparts, but if somebody watching does want us to go to their yard and find some treasures, make sure you comment or contact us through our business email or on Instagram, and we would love to do that. Thank you guys for watching. Happy picking.